Hello, my friends, relatives, esteemed colleagues. There is always frequent relation being done between skin explosions, being it pimples, being it eczema, or even going further into what we call the, not we, but what they call the autoimmune disease, psoriasis, and relation of it being done to certain things like, for example, dairy, okay, and very often also to relating it with the food allergies, especially eggs. And these questions keep popping up. Always, I understand that my work is not familiar to many people, only selected few, because it needs quite open mind to read more than one of my articles or watch more than one of my videos. If you are closed, none of it resonates. And most people are just on a flyby. They are being told, or from curiosity they just open video or open the article, read a couple sentences, and it's not for me. And the same thing happens also to many of those who try the protocol. The first symptom shows up. It's not for me. The salt doesn't agree with my system, or the diet, the meat or the eggs, they don't agree with my system. It's it's for other people. Why do we so often think about food when we see bad skin happening or some exacerbation? Because people who do suffer from bad skin, then they are very observant towards it, and they watch what food does. And yes, they will see if they have a milk or dairy product, the skin gets worse. And it could happen even if they eat certain foods. The skin gets worse. Now, why? Why do eggs make skin worse if you already suffer from a bad skin? Well, we have to understand that skin doesn't get bad because something came to the skin. Yeah, well, it could be. You touch poison ivy, you're gonna get eczema, explosion on the skin. Toxins affect your skin, and your body reacts with inflammation. Self-defense system. But other than that, well, what if you don't touch anything and you just drink a milk and all of a sudden your skin, your rash gets worse, or you get itchy? And many people notice that they are getting itchy when they are medicated as well. But they may have a mild skin problem, and then they drink milk, and then all of a sudden more skin becomes itchy and the problem expands. Because of observation, and then also because of the wrong education, a wrong understanding of the body, we always think, well, something bad happened that now is creating this skin problem. So the bad happening, now we go backwards and we go and we check all these gurus of alternative medicine and, oh yeah, dairy promotes mucus and mucus is bad. So this is how it hits the skin. Okay, so why egg, for example? Well, cholesterol. Yeah, egg has a cholesterol, and cholesterol, bad circulation, inflammation. That's what they tell us. Well, things do not happen this way. Even they may appear so. And this is why I always say, if you suffer from already chronic problem and you want to follow the protocol, you either have to read all my books and read them several times, because you have to tune to this. You have to start understanding. And then you also should be guided. The worse problems you have, more guidance, because the symptoms will increase. Even by drinking seawater or diluted seawater, sea plasma, your skin rash may all of a sudden increase. Now why? Because the blood toxicity is working with its way out. Now, what do I mean by it? I mention all the time that all the symptoms that we have with our health are related to toxic blood, toxic cells, and blood detox. And this is very, very visible in a case of flu. There is no bacteria, no fungus, but you have symptoms of infection. So we blame it on non-existent virus. But what if you are okay and all of a sudden you decide to go to the seashore and you soak, you swim in a sea, your vacation just started and bang, and all of a sudden the symptoms of flu kicks in, or your skin rash comes out. Then you blame it to the sun on a UV rays, but what if you have been covered? And most of these people are always protected because they are so full of knowledge that they know that the sun is bad and UV is bad and they should be protected. And then because they researched or they know our creams, the sunblocks are maybe not the best, so just cover yourself, protect, and you still come up with itchiness and redness of skin just by being exposed to seawater. Well, I explain all the time that we have cleansing organs that cleanse the blood, but for that they need water. Body does not hold water, holds plasma, so you have to have solid plasma levels, but nobody ever is checking plasma levels. We just say, well, you have thick blood. Well, thick blood means low on plasma. You still have all the particles there, but you are low on plasma, so your blood gets more condensed, and like dehydrated milk, evaporated milk, and blood gets thicker, milk gets thicker. And less plasma you have, it means less water and minerals that you have in your blood circulation. The blood gets dense, which means there is less blood. And, of course, less water. So the cleansing organs cannot cleanse, or they cleanse marginally. And then, as toxicity increases, so you cleanse through different organs, not only through kidneys, but through mucosal tissue. As toxicity increased even further, then the skin becomes the designated organ because it loses least amount of water. And this becomes the last option to cleanse. And everybody that has problem with the skin is extremely dehydrated. So the problems come because of very toxic blood finds the only cleansing outlet through the skin. So where you sweat the most, this is going to be where most of the toxins are going to be coming out, sometimes changing the color of the skin into darker. And then also you are going to see that it smells bad, because garbage smells bad, toxins are garbage. And the skin, on a cellular level, becomes very acidic because it's now immersed in very toxic environment. Cells cannot hydrate. They dehydrate faster than the cells in the rest of the body, and become very acidic, which may spur need for forced hydration. Such a skin also is much more sensitive to the outside influence. First, body is protecting it through layers of cholesterol, oil, and the skin becomes very oily. But as the cells are being very low on voltage, they proliferate more, so the skin gets thicker. You get dandruff, and you get skin that also peels, flakes, becomes thicker. And now inflammation sets in as a form of hydration, forced hydration, which starts to itch. Now, you still are low on plasma, so the body does not really cleanse that well, even through skin. And let's say you drink milk. Well, what is milk? Milk is water with minerals. It's plasma. And also has nutrients, has fats and proteins. But basically, it increases the level of minerals and water in your system. So immediate, volume of blood has slightly increased, but enough to poke in some of the stored garbage that was not able to get out earlier, and forces it to the surface. A little bit water is available to do the cleanse, not enough to start the cleanse of a mucosal tissue, through the mucosal tissue. But often, yes, if you start drinking, you drink half a liter of milk, have some yogurt, some cheese, pop. Well, you may increase enough that you're not only going to start pushing some of the toxins through the skin out, but it may be even enough to start cleansing through mucosal tissue. So you start producing toxic mucus, phlegm, and toxic mucus inside of your intestines and stomach. So here we go with alternative medicine. Right away says, no, dairy are not good. They stimulate mucus production. Well, in a toxic body, yes. Unfortunately, vegetarians and vegans are always toxic. So, bingo, and dehydrated, because again, they are following the science. They don't eat salt, or if very little. They eat all the wrong stuff that so-called popular science is promoting. And they get affected with the toxicity. Plus dehydrated, low salt. No matter how much water you drink, you are low on salt, you cannot hold it. Your plasma levels remain low, you urinate a lot, and even then you urinate mostly clear water because body is trying to hold minerals, and it will hold anything that is electroconductive, including bacteria and garbage. So you're not really cleansing. You're just eliminating the water. So when you have dairy and your skin irritation increases, it is because you have started eliminating more toxins, and still there is not enough plasma to divert the expulsion of toxins more through kidneys, because they waste huge amount of water. So, and mucosal tissue. So at least mucosal tissue wastes less water than kidney. So after skin, mucosal tissue will kick in also and start eliminating blood toxins through mucus that the mucosal tissue produces. And this way the mucus becomes toxic. And eggs have very little to do with this. But again, they do provide minerals, they do provide protein and water. So it can also be involved in this mechanism, especially when you eat them raw. Now, is this causing the skin problems? No, it's expelling the toxins, and the toxins are causing the skin problems. But why? Because you are low on plasma. If you would have increased plasma level sufficiently, then there will be plenty of water so the kidneys can run full power, and your mucosal tissue. Being that colon is your strongest detox valve, you would cleanse with diarrhea. And as soon as you break diarrhea, the skin starts calming down. Try it, you will see. So don't relay, I call it childish thinking, because it's just observation and then information that you have. Well, those information are superficial. There is not enough information there because we are being told lies. And since doctors cannot peel away from the science that we are given through books, it's always there, always trying to find a way in and do some explanation, and it always takes you the wrong way because we are being told wrong science purposely. Every time you have a skin problems, unless you have burned yourself with some toxic plant, it's reflection of dehydrated body, low levels of blood, and high toxicity of the blood. And subsequently, of course, your cells, because they cannot hydrate, they cannot cleanse. So putting some creams and going to dermatologist, it's waste of time and money. You don't achieve anything by putting things on top of your skin. The best thing you can do for skin, coconut oil, olive oil, smear it on, help your body. But you have to cleanse the blood. You have to allow the cleansing to go through kidneys and mucosal tissue to divert it from the skin. and skin calms down. So it is not that the dairy is toxic for you, but the dairy is a plasma, brings more water and minerals, same like drinking plasma. So it is going to kick in the cleansing. More toxic you are, more symptoms you are going to have. And yes, you will secrete toxic plasma, toxic mucus, and your mucus production increases, for sure, but because you are cleansing through it. So, it's the benefit. Well, that's the part that alternative medicine ignores. No, you produce mucus and mucus is bad. Mucus is not bad. And if you are producing more of it, there is a reason for it. It's not because you are drinking milk and now your body can produce more mucus, so it produces more mucus. Never happens like this. Nothing is circumstantial. Everything is planned. You are not going to produce mucus if you don't need to produce mucus. This is why once when you cleanse reasonably, you can drink as much milk as you want and you don't produce any additional mucus. I drink yogurt or milk daily, eat cheese. I don't produce any additional mucus. Yes, I produce more of it when I'm detoxifying, and then I get diarrhea and I get all kinds of stuff just because I'm cleansing, but just increasing plasma levels will do the same thing as drinking milk. So there's nothing particular in the milk that will stimulate production of mucus. Mucus will be produced if there is enough water for cleansing and to cleanse the body, the blood. And we have to learn the truth. But because we don't know it, and we always think, we got to know the details. So we go into biochemistry, and then we try to make some sense of it. This is this enzyme, and this is this hormone that is acting this and producing that, and the cell produces this. It's irrelevant. Jackie Stewart, Fittipaldi, Schumacher, they don't have to know every detail of the car, every screw where it goes to win a race. They need to know how to drive the car, basically. But what makes it go? Well, more you understand, the better. But you don't have to understand all this to be a great driver. If doctors would know less of the details and know more of what it is worth knowing, like diet, like water, like genetics, how the genes actually work, they would be able to help people to heal. Because we don't need to know the details. Our genes are programmed to keep us healthy. So we don't need these details. We lose ourselves in biochemistry. You go and you want to do your research, and now you want to know exactly how something will help you, and then you go into biochemistry, you get lost in the first 10 minutes in the details. And you will not understand anything, because there is so much junk science in there, and so many details completely irrelevant that you cannot bridge them. You cannot create the full picture. Simplify. But how can you simplify if you don't understand? This is why doctors can never simplify anything. They always go repeating the phrases in the books and using all the words, smart words that nobody understands, including them. So, don't hide behind rhetorics, behind big words. If you cannot explain simply what's going on, then you don't understand it. And 90% or probably 98% of doctors have no clue how body works and how to help it. Simply because they don't understand it. What we are being told, it's all garbage. So, don't be afraid of milk. We are being told, oh, well, how come animals, when they grow up, they don't drink milk? Well, did you ever see an animal being weaned off milk? It wants to go for the tit, and the cow kicks it. Runs away. Goat does the same thing. Sheep does the same thing. Cat does the same thing. Just gets off and starts walking. Doesn't allow anymore. It's not that the animals cannot continue because they get now intolerance. There's nothing to do with it. The mother says, basta, enough. Go and eat your own stuff. Every mammal, doesn't matter how old they are, give them milk, they would love to have it. Old dogs. Even, again, what we don't have for a long time, and through different foods, we shift our system. But it doesn't mean that the milk is going to be toxic, because we haven't been using it. And actually, who has a problem with intolerance to lactose are vegans. But this is because their whole system is working wrong. They have wrong fauna, wrong microorganisms. So they think they'll fix it through probiotics. You can't fix it through probiotics because microorganisms multiply very rapidly and they adjust to the environment. You put bacteria that you want in an environment that doesn't support it, the bacteria will die or mutate very rapidly. Within an hour or so, you have already completely different bacteria from the ones that you put in. So, but again, follow the science. But what science? Not the bullshit science we are being preached in the school. So this is how it is. Eggs are fabulous source for good animal fats, fat-soluble proteins, vitamins, animal proteins, well-hydrated egg white. Get your plasma, get your protein, get your fats, get your vitamins. Everything comes from egg. That's a superfood. How many eggs can I have a day? As many as you freaking want. There's nothing toxic about eggs. Same as with the milk. Same as with fresh cheeses. Same as with the meat. Plants? So, experiment yourself. Don't trust me. Experiment and see. But of course, when you switch your diet, your body needs to adjust. And you have to know which symptoms are caused because of cleansing or adaptation, and which symptoms are caused because of the wrong diet. Thank you for listening. Till next time. Love you all.